You're listening to WTF LEX, a production of OGM Podcast Network. Real events, real accountability, and real Lexington. Let's get it. Good evening, boys and girls. Boy, has it been a busy few days for old Gerg. If you've seen any of my videos lately, you can understand completely why we're doing this episode now. From catching multiple of them hiding in hiding spots, and then you got the one that I recorded for 2.5-3 hours that was hiding in plain sight, called in the backup on me, and still I ended up leaving before they did, but they won the standoff, I guess, to the $1.2 million lawsuit. And all this got me thinking, let's do a little research. Let's look up and see how many Lexington police officers have been reprimanded, resigned, quit, suspended, whatever, in the last 5 years. And red flag number 1, 2022, there are no fucking public records of any of this. But if we start in 2021, there are records. The LFUCG formal complaints log and personnel order show multiple 2021 cases. First off is Officer Ray Asbury, ID 54220. Was suspended 1 day, no pay, for an off-duty weapons violations. Drinking while armed. That sounds fucking safe. Then we got Patrol Officer Roman Puchovsky. Was given a written reprimand and 4 weeks take-home vehicle suspension for driving outside his assigned sector without approval. Then there's Detective Robert Terry. Was suspended for 1 day plus 1 week's home fleet suspension after a policy violation during a May 2021 pursuit. Officer Samuel Ferguson received a written reprimand and 2 weeks vehicle suspension for a series of on-duty collisions. And we got Officer Matthew Barrett was reprimanded, no suspension, for abusing sick leave. Call of Duty News edition must have come out. In July 2021, we had an Officer Jeremiah Terry resigned amid a misconduct investigation, text messaging harassment. Then later, Officer Daniel Hempel was later suspended for 1 week plus 1 month fleet suspension for pursuit-related violations. By fall of 2021, Officer James Chisholm was suspended 2 weeks for unprofessional misconduct after a use of force incident. Billy Badass. Officer Miles Foster was suspended 1 day for improper conduct at a public event. Makes you wonder what the fuck he did, huh? Also during 2021, 2 supervisors were forced out. Sergeant Jason Rothermund, misconduct and insubordination, retired in August 2021. And Sergeant Justin Burnett, misuse of force, retired in October 2021. It's very funny how many of them retire or resign right in the middle of the investigation. Now, like I said, 2022, there's no publicly posted formal complaint summary, and there's none in the local news. Obviously, if they didn't post it, they're not going to be able to, the news can't report on it if they ain't going to, be transparent. So now we're moving into 2023. In March, Officer Wesley Watkins, a patrol officer, received a written reprimand and 2 week take-home suspension for multiple preventable collisions. I'm telling y'all, worst drivers in town. Speaking of which, this right here is a what the fuck one for real. In July 2023, Officer Derek Walton, investigations, was suspended without pay for 2 months after pleading guilty to an on-duty DUI. Let that one sink in for a minute. That same month, Officer Jonathan Coyle, Special Operations, was suspended 2 weeks and lost home use of his vehicle for 6 months due to pursuit policy violations. In late 2023, Officer Sean Stafford, Investigations, was suspended 6 months on duty alcohol impairment. These fuckers love to drink. In August 2023, Officer Daniel Hempel, Patrol, was issued a written reprimand for a uniform appearance violation. He had already faced suspension in 2021. I thought that name sounded familiar. And in October 2023, officers John McFall, Marcus Olmstead, and Caleb Croney, great name, all patrol officers, were each suspended 2 weeks and 30 days vehicle suspension for policy violations during a high-speed chase. So if you ever see these guys riding around a shotgun, you know they done fucked up. But at the same council meeting, Sergeant Philip Johnson was suspended 1 month for failing to document and report use of force on duty. And late 2023, Officer Brandon Holbrook Patrol was suspended 3 months plus 6 months fleet suspension for unauthorized pursuit driving. Now, I'm not sure if 2024 was just a light year for them. They behaved well or what. Or they just didn't list all the info, which I'd lean more towards didn't list all the info. But in mid-2024, Officer Ronald Sims Patrol resigned effective June 24, 2024, amid a PIU investigation that found he repeatedly left his sector without approval and turned off his body cam. Now we're at 2025. Officer John Gibbons II resigned effective August 8, 2025 after disciplinary board recommended termination for repeatedly using the herbal drug kratom on duty. Officer Joshua Yeager resigned effective December 2nd, 2025 after an internal probe found he shared racist AI-generated videos. The review board had unanimously voted to fire him. Now, in February 2026, the council approved a 1-day suspension, no pay for Caleb Croney again, misconduct in communication with the public, and written reprimand for Officer Christopher Jackson for policy knowledge failure. Croney's case actually stemmed from late 2025. That's why it's listed in the 2025. And here we are just starting 2026, and we've already saw more resignations from Officer Jacob A. Sharp submitted his resignation effective January 31st, 2026, 1 day after the review board unanimously recommended firing him for secretly recording a supervisor meeting and then lying about it. Officer Samuel Sheehan of the Central Sector resigned effective January 9th, 2026 after Police Chief Weathers had recommended termination for a string of on-duty failures, unreported hit and run in his cruiser, chronic tardiness, and mishandled calls. Now, all these were pulled from the records on LFUCG and Lexington Police Department, the logs, the memoranda. Notably, the official police transparency pages are incomplete. For example, the 2022 report is not posted. Many of the 2023 to 2025 cases were obtained only via open records requests with heavy redactions, or learned of via the council minutes. In several of the instances, only news accounts and personal orders documented the outcome. Some disciplinary files remain withheld and redacted, so this list reflects all the cases we identified from available records. I'm not going back and counting every damn one of those, but you can see there is quite a list, and that's just the previous 5 years. These are supposed to be the people out there protecting, serving, and taking care of you when you are in the lowest, sometimes the worst spot in your fucking life. And you have seen from my videos here lately how they jump out on you, how they cop an attitude, and that they are not de-escalating. They are, in fact, escalating any situation I've seen them in. Whether it be an accident scene, I'm pretty sure the alumni and Yellowstone shooting, they still haven't said that guy shot at them. They still reported as an armed suspect was shot during an attempted arrest. Now, personally, I don't care if the guy had warrants. I don't care any of that. Unless he opened fire, why in the hell did the police department kill that man? This will be just like London, Kentucky, and Doug Harless. They killed that man and didn't get any accountability whatsoever. All you need is a badge and a cruiser in this state, and you can get away with murder. Now, with that being said, we got a win for the little people here. $1.2 million win. And that would be the Linda Trapp excessive force case. She got a payday out of that one, boys. But let me tell you, that's some bullshit. If you haven't seen the video, go check that out. They were excessive force and wrongful arrest during an encounter at the St. Joe East Hospital. And just to be honest, the St. Joe people were fucking rude too. But they actually used excessive force and broke this lady's leg and delayed medical treatment. So yeah, she definitely deserves that 1.2 mil. Now in 2023, there was a federal civil rights lawsuit filed by Kenneth Watkins for malicious prosecution against Detective Kristen Klingshern. The claim was that police pursued murder charges without probable cause after a 2021 shooting investigation. The federal judge dismissed the lawsuit in 2025, ruling the police had sufficient probable cause. Then we have the UK football players lawsuit. 5 University of Kentucky football players claimed that they were wrongfully investigated and prosecuted after a fraternity party altercation by Detective Corey Vinlove and others. Federal appeals court ultimately dismissed the claims against police in the city. Then we got the good old Fraternal Order Police Bluegrass suing the city of Lexington themselves, claiming the union claimed that the city violated an officer's due process rights when imposing a high-level administrative assignment during an investigation. But it doesn't list any outcome to that one. So I can just hear the comment section right now. Mind your own fucking business, Greg. It is our business. We pay taxes. That $1.2 million, who do you think is actually paying for that? Where do you think that money comes from? It's not from the police department. I'll guarantee you that. It's from taxpayer dollars. You, me, and every fucking citizen in this city just paid that woman $1.2 million because our police were fucking dicks. But Greg, they're just doing their job. No, they're fucking not. And you can say, oh, well, you need to go be a cop yourself. No, I fucking don't. I do not fucking take on that responsibility. And they do take on that responsibility. Not only do they take on the responsibility, they take an oath. And every department's oath is different. But you want to know the main thing that's in every one of them that makes them very similar? To uphold the Constitution of the United States. That is in the civil servant oath. That is in the military oath. That is in the police and firefighter oath. And it's there for a reason. But in today's time, people want to pay pussy and not stand up for your rights. I'm sorry. I'm not going to back down. I'm a foul-mouthed, redneck little bastard. I'm sorry. You get used to that because you're going to hear some cuss words out of me. But in no way does that make me any less deserving of a public servant's response or care, for that matter. The fact that you think me holding them accountable with a phone is in any way, shape, fashion, form dangerous and makes me deserve not to have them do their job when I call them makes zero fucking sense. Like, listen to the words, or just say it out loud. When you type a comment on these Facebook, just say it out loud. Reread it. Say to yourself, does this sound legit or do I sound like a fucking retard? Because if half of you did that, I don't think I'd have nearly as many of the comments that I have. Jeez, Louis. Like, literally, filming cops for hours in a parking lot. Yeah, I got time to do that because I work DoorDash. I got my bills paid. It ain't none of your fucking business. But I got time to do that. Hours. Not just, a little break time. Hours. And you're still over there swinging from the nutsack going, well, he's just doing paperwork. Did you see that fucker get out of the vehicle on that video of mine? Wearing sneakers. His fucking uniform disheveled. Like, that's our cops? That's a fucking embarrassment. But truly, all my haters on Facebook, I love each and every one of you because let me tell you, at this point in my life, I don't give two shits or a fuck what any of you think. I have been on drugs. I have fucking lived on my friends' couches. I have been homeless. I have been carless. I have been jobless. Now I have a job. I have my own home. I own 4 vehicles, a car trailer. 2 of the vehicles are torn apart and being rebuilt as custom lowriders. I got thousands of fucking dollars just in powder coating. But, you need to get a job. Well, sorry to disappoint, but I got a job and I'm happy as a fuck with my life. Got the wife, got the kid. What more do I need? It actually just loves, my heart loves the fact that I annoy the fuck out of so many people on Facebook while doing absolutely nothing wrong and being perfectly legal while doing what I do. Now, with that being said, I do want to, approach a subject that is constantly in my comments, and that's that one of these days I'm going to meet one of these cops that's going to beat the fuck out of me. You realize that just shows how little you think of the police force in any given town and across this great nation. Because that's the ones that are being fired. Well, they're resigning. They're not getting fired. They quit before that point. Those are the ones, the excessive force, the ones costing me, you, and everybody here $1.2 fucking million because they threw a girl around and broke her fucking leg. I don't care if that woman walked up and smacked you in the fucking mouth, bro. Why? She deserved a broken leg. I hope to God you're not married. But I digress. This episode is really about just showing you some of the bullshit that these people that are put on such a high pedestal actually do. This isn't even mentioned in the fire department. Like, I haven't even looked it up, but I remember maybe last 4th of July before that, the one that got arrested for assault for throwing firecrackers on the motherfuckers. Yeah, drunk dude, that sounds fucking great. Then we had the one recently that was fired for embezzlement or stealing money, stealing funds from the fire department. The main thing to remember is first responders are humans, just like me, you, the guy who's in prison for stealing. Oh, wait a minute, the firefighter. All these guys are human. They make mistakes. They fuck up. But they chose a job where dumbasses like me can film them fuck up. Otherwise, if they don't film them fuck up, they're not going to show you their body camera. Have you ever done a records request for a body cam? It comes back so redacted. In fact, I've got a records request I just got back from Northern Kentucky and a double homicide case. This is an unsolved case from 2011. So that far back, and they're literally so redacted, it's nothing but black. I wasted ink printing out those. But it's the same concept with the body cameras. Everything's redacted, everything's cut. It'll jump full 5-10 minutes at a time, and it's useless. That's supposed to be a transparency. Yeah, that doesn't work at all for the public. Now, I'm sure for the supervisors, the people who can go in there and watch it and actually not unredacted, it might be useful. But as far as transparency to the public, that's just like the police radio, the scanner. You can no longer listen to that. But it's on P25 encrypted. When you used to be able to listen to all the police scanner, right? Well, you couldn't hear the tactical or certain ones, which obviously I understand why you couldn't do that. But everyday normal traffic through a police scanner we can't listen to. Why not? What's going on there? What are you hiding? Like, Lexington Police Department does not comply with the Brady list. The Brady list is simply a list of officers who have lied on an affidavit, on an affidavit or lied in court. So, I mean, that seems pretty good idea to keep a record of that if your officers are lying on people and putting them away for wrong reasons. But we don't comply with that. So my advice is record every interaction, whether it be walking by saying hi, whether it's seeing them hiding in a parking lot. Call me or message me on Facebook. I'll go record their ass because I ain't afraid. See, I've done been through my worst part of my life. I'm clean. Got a clean record. I'm good to go now. I'm not afraid of being arrested. They can wrongfully arrest me and break my leg. I'll pay me $1.2 million. Sorry, taxpayers, but I'd eat that shit up. I'm going to end up having to add a section on oldgerdmedia.com just showing all these the research papers that I pulled up, all the records and stuff. That way everybody's like, oh, you're full of shit. Right here. It's easy to Google, but people are fucking lazy. You have everything, every bit of knowledge in this universe right at your fingertips. If you need to know something, if you don't know something, all you got to do is look. If you are ignorant on a subject nowadays, it's your own damn fault. But on that note, I think I'm going to take my ass a lap around town and find me some cops hiding and get some more content, because they give me so much to work with, man. You know, and my bathroom remodel needs a little bit of extra fundage, so might as well get some shit going. And y'all go check out Buried in the Bluegrass. We're getting ready to do the William and Peggy Stevenson double homicide in Northern Kentucky. And the wifey has Bipolar Brain podcast. Yeah, that one as well. She drags me onto it. I'm like a terrible co-host. I mean, obviously I'm a terrible host, so you can imagine me being the co-host. And on that note, like I said, record everything. Don't let them push you around, and know your fucking rights. This podcast is a proud member of the OGM Podcast Network. Check out our other podcasts and go on Facebook, like, follow. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, all of them, you know. Insert witty closing line here.